Alright guys, this is Cyphers here. Cyphers 1990. I'm just here basically to explain a lot of the basic stuff for Summoner's War. Pertaining to like gb10, db10, elemental dungeons, necro, stuff like that. Also I'll be going over a guildmate's. He wanted me to look at his monsters, suggest a couple things that he needs help with. Also, my guild leader, she wants me to go over some teams that you could possibly use on the B10 elemental dungeons, which they're not as complicated as dragons, giants, or necro, but some basic Giants B10 teams. This is my speed team. I wouldn't worry too much about speed until you can consistently do it. Some basic setups are Pharaoh. Mine's violent, broken set, but ideally you want violent and nemesis. That's ideally, but also you can do violent energy, and you want him with good speed and a lot of HP, just so he doesn't get knocked out that easily. He's basically your backbone to most dungeons. Once you get Vero, dungeons become a lot easier. But you also want some accuracy on them. So some people, they'll do violent focus, but also if you don't have the violent runes that put on Swift, could even be just as good. But mainly you want violent on them to get rid of multiple debuffs or DOTs. But Vero, he's kind of a staple when it comes to GB10, or any dungeon for that matter. Dungeons, arena, TOA. He's a game changer. But moving on, Bella, another staple monster in any kind of situation. Mine's violent revenge. You want her with a good bit of HP. You want her with a good bit of speed. Around 160 and up, I'd say will be plenty enough. Mine doesn't have very much accuracy, just because she hits a good bit of her debuffs and her C's with what accuracy I have on her now, so I didn't really think it was that important. But mine is speed, HP, and HP. Look for accuracy substats, speed substats. So that has 17 speed. But you can also rune her like Swift Focus. Again, if you don't have the violent runes, violent runes are a pain in the ass to come by, so it's understandable. She can be just as good with Swift and Focus or Swift and Energy. Just get her HP and the speed up. Like I said, accuracy, I wouldn't focus a rune spot on it, but look for subs on accuracy so she can hit those debuffs. Also, a lot of people, especially on speed runs, they like to use Sigmaris, but I mean, it's not necessary, but like I said, a lot of people use him on speed runs. He can be runed Fatal Blade if you don't have the violent or anything else, or even Rage Blade. But seeing that they changed Rage to Necro, they're a lot more of a pain in the ass to deal with now. Mine is attack, crit damage, attack. A lot of attack. He can hit like a truck, especially on his third skill. It's based off of enemy HP, and it's an AoE attack break. So that's always good. You always need an attack break, especially in the boss. It'll limit the damage you take big time. A lot of people use Lucian too. You know, he can be your main damage dealer when it comes to gb10 if that's all you have. Uh, you know, I'd make him a little sustainable just so them crystals on the way there don't knock them out because they can do some pretty hefty damage. Ultimately, you want either Fatal Blade or Rage Blade. Later builds could be like Despair Blade, with attack, quick damage, attack. I'm trying to work with speed Lucian with Swift Blade. I'm just kind of toying with that, seeing how it goes. Um, even Chow, he could be a decent tank when it comes to GB10. Dude, he can cause a lot of DOTs, especially with his passive. He's a self healer. He can sustain in the final battle if that's what it comes down to. But you mostly want him as a tank, and you want him with a lot of HP. Mine doesn't have too much HP because I've kind of shied away from Chow since I've gotten better monsters. But Violent Blade or Violent Revenge would be good for him. Like I said, with a lot of HP, decent defense, and get that quick rate up because he can inflict continuous DOTs for 2 turns with a critical hit. So you want to make sure that critical rate's a little high. Even Amon can be a basic stepping stone to use for GB10, so you can get a better substantial team. Violent Blade, that is, probably the best rune set for him. Maybe even Violent Revenge because he can provoke on his first skill, but you want HP, quick HP, quick rate, and HP. That'll do just fine. Just 2 most important stats are his HP and his quick rate. I haven't really messed with mine too much because I've gotten better mobs, but also Darien, he can be used as well. Mine's rune basically for raid. I'm just looking for overall stats rather than any specific rune set. But ideally, if you're going to use Darien for anything else other than raid, he could be useful with violent revenge or violent energy, all HP, or 2 HP or HP in defense. It's you can mess around with it a little bit to see what works better for you. Bernard, he's more of a speed run type mob for GB10, but obviously you want Swift, you want him as fast as you can. If you want to focus on accuracy so he can get his debuffs, especially on the giant stage, it's an attack and defense break, but at the same time, he can, and try to focus on his HP, especially if you're not necessarily going to use him for a speed run. If you're going to use him in a kind of a tank long haul run, definitely have his HP up because you want him to survive and you want him to be able to take hits. Brienne, he can be easily used as a reviver to spare anything really. Mine's speed, HP, but you could also do all HP if you're gonna go full tank. You want to look for accuracy substats so you can his debuffs. His second is a He has an attack break on his second skill, so you want that off as much as you can. Like I said, he can be a pretty decent reviver, and his first skill, it's not really that important when gb10, but like I said, despair, focus, despair anything really. Mine's like, mine's just kind of a super tank. It's probably one of the mobs I'm proud of the most when it comes to that. Delphoy, another good mob for gb10. Violent, if you want to run her up based off of her skill set, what's best for her skill set, you want to do Violent Blade. There's some people they'll do HP, crit rate, HP, just make sure she lands her debuffs. Also, you can go for that accuracy for her second skill. Put target's skills on cooldown. That could be useful in TOA, but we'll get to that later. Theo, he can be another good damage dealer when it comes to gb10. Violent Blade, Violent Revenge, but his first skill is based off of speed, so you want to make sure you have a decent amount of speed. You can make him sort of tanky. It's not completely necessary, but mine's speed, crit damage, and attack. And if you can get the right speed subs in your runes, you can always go attack, crit damage, attack. But only if you can get the right speed subs. I use my Sierra for my gb10 team. She's made gb10 so much easier. But it's kind of risky to use a bomber because they're always, they're a little squishy, but it's kind of high risk, high return. It's some sort of that deal, but Sassoon, she's a lot. Most people they do use Chassoon in their gb10 team, especially starting out. Her key stats are her HP, her speed. You want to make sure she can heal as fast as possible. Any healers, you want them fast. Around 160, 160 and up is the ideal speed for basically any healer. Violent Endure, is an ideal rune set for her because a lot of people rune her with 100% resist. What else? Even Ariel. He can be definitely used, but I'll go over some, some mobs some basic mobs that, maybe not a whole lot of people have. Orochi, a lot of people use him, especially for his speed lead when they're using. See, I haven't really messed with mine a whole lot, but he can be when it comes to attack mobs, and mobs like him. Mostly, you want them attack like fatal or rage or violent, but mostly you can have him speed, attack. Speed attacker on his first slot or second slot. Sorry. Critical rate for these DOTs. You can even have accuracy to make sure those DOTs stick. Shannon, very basic mob. She's farmable. It's easy to skill up, and she's very useful when you're doing gb10. Despair focus, because you want to get the accuracy up for her glancing, and also the slow, which that's why I have despair because she can have an AOE stun, so that's kind of why you want her spare. You want her a little tanky, seeing, you know, but you want her a little tanky because she's a little squishy. Her HP is pretty low. That's about it for her. But some people ruin her. Hi guys, it's Cypress again. Just making a little friendly video. Some arena battles, maybe some gb10 discussions. Like I said, just going around with arena a little bit. As you can see, you know, my AD is. I'm kind of farming for them glory points, so I can get that speed tower up. Cause it is ridiculously outpriced. I mean, come on, like 1,000, 1,000 GP just for. I think it's like, yeah, it's to upgrade to 6. Here goes a little arena. I use bomb team. I don't know why that background is like that. I think it's kind of cool. But here's some arena battles for you guys. Let's go. Bomb teams, you always want a speed lead. You always basically want an attack bar buffer, and a speed buff. That always helps. And definitely an attack buffer if you don't think your team is strong enough. Yeah, I think that little faded background is kind of cool. It's glitchy, but it's cool. Oh, come on, you're killing me. Oh, man. Perna is just gonna go nuts. There's looks like a scroll or crystals in the background there. Even with an attack break, that Perna is cool. A little on the weak side. There we go. That's the damage I was looking for. Right now it's still a little bit early, so I'm gonna see a lot of the same people. See how it does against this. I'm pretty fast, but I think I'm a bit faster. There we go. Bye-bye, come on. I'm not worried about either one of them. Just kind of turn it on holiday. I love Violent on Sarah because she can just. I've seen her get like 6 turns before. She can put bombs faster on. If Sierra goes crazy on Violent procs, you better watch out. There's this bomb city. I think Sierra might get knocked. Also, I think Sierra might get knocked out by Chloe, but she pulled. Let's see what if I can get some revenge. I was never really much on like the whole bomb concept till I got Lalib. I mean, I had Malacca. I also had JoJo, but I mean, I never really put much thought into it as far as doing it because I always thought it was a little risky. But overall, it's paid off pretty well. I mean, I used this bomb team consistently. You know, sometimes it does fail. You know, you just gotta keep at it. See if I can knock. Eh, oh well. That's easy. That's easy glory points right there. Sometimes you can find, sometimes these pictures you can find here are like the funniest thing ever. I mean, sometimes they're a little bit ridiculous, but sometimes they're pretty comical. Velox. But that's the end of this video, guys. Like I said, I'll be definitely making some more videos for you guys, so don't worry. If you liked it, make sure you put your likes in the comment section and let me know what any recommendations or anything you guys want to ask or anything like that, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you like my channel, just make sure you subscribed. Thanks for watching. Peace.